Good morning. Thank you for joining us for this webinar, Sales Strategies for Small Businesses. I'm your moderator, Renee Goodnow from the New York Small Business Development Center. Today's presenter is Pace University Marketing Professor Harvey Markovitz. Today's host is the Pace Small Business Development Center. The Pace SBDC is part of the New York SBDC network of 22 campus-based centers and outreach offices located across New York State. We are a U.S. Small Business Administration resource partner. And with that, I will turn things over to Andrew to properly introduce Harvey and get going.
Great. Thanks so much, Renee. Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Flam. I'm the Regional Director of the Pace University Small Business Development Center. We're located here in Lower Manhattan. Welcome you to the session today. I wanted to spend a couple quick minutes just for introducing and or reminding those of you about the array of Small Business Development Center services, and then turn it over to my colleague, Harvey Markovitz, for today's session. As Renee touched on, our center here at Pace University is one of 22 centers located throughout the state. We're staffed by full-time business advisors who offer targeted one-on-one business advisory services, all in areas such as access to financing, marketing and sales strategies, procurement opportunities, sort of helping to kind of connect with government contracts and others, operational issues you may be facing post-COVID in terms of securing financial services and that sort of thing. And all of these services are offered at no cost. So if you're not working with a PACE SBDC or an SBDC advisor elsewhere throughout the state, we'd certainly encourage you to take advantage of those services. I'll put a link in the chat that will provide you a link to where you would request those services. It takes a few minutes to register, and then you're all set, and we'll kind of get a session set up for you. We also have a wide range of training programs where we're delighted to have my colleague, Professor Markovitz, join us today. This is one of a wide range of services, wide range of webinars that our center hosts, as well as our colleagues throughout the state. I will put a link in the chat so you can find out about other upcoming programs. Certainly, you're welcome to take advantage of and attend any of these sessions as well. We'll also mention, I guess, just very briefly in terms of I sort of mentioned, I guess, the COVID recovery resources in terms of grants, low interest loans, and other programs that are out there through the public and private sectors. If these are things that you're aware of, hopefully you've taken advantage of, I would certainly encourage you to meet up with a business advisor to make sure that you've connected with and kind of understand all of the varying programs that you might be eligible for, and take a look and see if there's some that you haven't applied for yet, and or if there's some that you have not been successful for, there may be some opportunities for us to take a look further into it. So if that's of interest, certainly connect with our advisors. And then finally, kind of I'll reiterate, I mean, today's session, I think Harvey's got some terrific insights in terms of how to kind of build sales opportunities for your business if you want to be able to look at ways of operationalizing these, and also thinking about strategies of how to implement things for your business specifically. Again, we have business advisors that are in place to kind of work with you to take some of the material that you're learning today and hopefully put that into practice in terms of building and growing your own individual business here in New York State. So I'll put a contact info on how to reach us into the chat as well. We look forward to working with you, and we're delighted you're sharing your morning with us today. And with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to my colleague, Professor Harvey Markovitz, who's a professor here at Lubin School of Business here at Pace University. Harvey, it's all yours.
Good morning, Andrew and Renee. Thank you very much for that great introduction, Andrew. Folks, welcome to our seminar. The whole purpose of this seminar is going to be a workshop. It's going to allow you to figure out how you can maximize opportunities to get new customers for your business. And I want to give you a bit of a background so you know from whence I come, and you'll understand and appreciate how I can teach you how to go after new business opportunities. I've not always been an academic at Pace. I am a clinical professor, and the term clinical professor means that I bring into the classroom practical business experience. My colleagues who are just pure academics, who are PhD tenure track professors, do not necessarily have the same level of experience that I have. I've been very fortunate in my business career to have an eclectic background in sales, marketing, financial planning, and managing sales teams and growing sales teams. And right now, I am not only a professor at Pace, but I also am the director of the Lubin sales team, which is an organization of our students that go out and compete in interscholastic sales tournaments against other schools across the country. And this year we happen to be on a winning streak. Our kids are winning in these competitions, which means they've learned how to sell and they've learned how to polish and hone their selling skills. So you're going to get a lot of what they're getting in the classroom and in their drill practices as part of the sales team in this webinar, in this seminar. I'm going to allow you time to introduce yourselves, but I'm going to give you a unique way of doing it. Let's pretend that we are in a networking group today. We're all networking, trying to find new business opportunities. So here's a question I pose to the group. The question I pose to the group is, you're going to a networking meeting. What's your purpose? What's your objective in going to that networking meeting? Think about that. What is your objective in going to a networking meeting? And if you don't go to a networking meeting, ask yourself this question: why aren't I going to networking meetings if I want to grow my business? So we're gonna touch on all of these things. And then what do I do once I get to a networking meeting? How do I go after and get new business? And if I don't go to a networking group, how else can I go after and get business? How else can I go after and get business? Okay. How do I introduce myself? What do I talk about? These are issues that I'm sure are probing all of you. Before I became an academic at Pace, I ran my own business for 35, 40 years, I guess. I was running a management marketing consulting firm in New York City, and my clientele were people just like yourselves, small business owners across the city who did not have expertise or not have help, but needed help in increasing profitability in their businesses. And my job was to go out and find that opportunity and secure opportunities for my business. And I had myself plus consultants working for me, helping these companies grow their businesses. My job was to be what we know in the industries is the rainmaker, go out and get new business opportunities. And I had to do that by going to networking groups, by cold calling, by using various sources to find new business opportunities. I'm going to share a lot of what I did to grow my business opportunities with you today. So perhaps it'll help you grow your business opportunities. So let's begin. And you'll have an opportunity. We're going to call on you, as Renee said. We're going to allow you to come in and join the seminar, join the workshop as a participant to share with us and introduce yourself to the group in a very unique way, okay? As if you were in a networking group. By the way, just so you understand, here's the routine when you go to a networking group. Most networking groups work this way. Not all of them, but most of them. You go to a networking group and there's a whole bunch of people there. You don't know who they are. You all come in with a business card. Now you have to have a business card. You all must have business cards. And I'll tell you what has to go on that business card also. You might want to change your business card after you hear me tell you this, okay? But you go to these business meetings, and generally it could be, if you go to the proper business networking groups, you'll go to the proper business networking group that allows only one member of an industry to participate. One member from an industry. So that means you're not going to have any competition there, but your only job is to pick up leads. So when you go to these networking groups, your objective is to pick up leads. So you're sitting around this table and you're called upon at one point to make an introduction. To make an introduction. Who are you? What are you all about? That's what you have to do. How do you introduce yourself? We're going to cover this, okay? So here we go. So networking in sales is a mindset. It develops concepts to practice good networking and how to become part of your everyday activity. How do you make a connection? That's what we're really talking about, because that's the beginning of the whole process of making money. Okay, why business networking? Business networking is the fast track to success. It's also one of the most commonly ignored pieces of advice. People will do business with other people they know long before they'll do business with people they find through an advertisement. Business networking isn't about making direct sales. The direct sales invariably occurs as a result. And business networking gives you professional connections, establishes trust, lends business through new opportunities, increased knowledge, and the ever so valuable word of mouth advertising. Okay. Where do you meet prospects? Okay. Jot these names down and then go check them out afterwards. These are the types of networking groups that you should be participating in. BNI, Business Networking International, is probably one of the largest groups. Okay, it's very popular. Mastermind groups, LATIP, Women in Business Networking. Even if you're a guy, go to Women in Business Networking. That's okay. You can go to a Women in Business Networking group. Chamber of Commerce, Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, New York Chamber of Commerce, Long Island, wherever. Chamber of Commerce is an opportunity for you to meet people. Various local merchants associations, Rotary clubs and Kiwanis and Optimists. These are all organizations where you're going to find business people and business people who you might want to do business with. So just jot these names down. I would recommend BNI and LATIP as being two critical ones you should pay attention to. Okay, whoops, let's back this up here. So now you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to introduce, how do you introduce yourself? What's the purpose? When you go to these networking groups, how do you get up and introduce yourself? This is a critical part. This is the first step. You have to develop a lemonade statement. Come on, Harvey, it's the middle of the winter. What do you mean develop a lemonade statement? It's not a lemonade statement for you to drink. It's a lemonade statement about your business. You want to demonstrate your value to your network relationships. Why should they want to engage with you? Think about it. Why should your potential customers want to engage with you? Not from your perspective, but from their perspective. Okay, here's a lemonade. Well, how do you describe this lemonade? How do you describe this lemonade? Think about it. How would you describe this lemonade? If you're selling lemonade, how would you describe it? That's what we're going to think about. Where do we start? So first you define your uniqueness. What makes your business unique? Do you think about that? What makes your business unique? Then, what problems will you solve and how will you solve it? That's the second thing. What problems will you solve? Nobody wants to meet with you if you can't solve a problem. What problems will you solve? And what's in it for your network target to listen to what you have to say? My favorite radio station is WIIFM, which stands for What's in it for me? What's in it for me to meet you? What can you do to help me make money? Summarize it all into a lemonade statement. Now, what's a lemonade statement? Don't describe lemonade as a drink, a fresh squeeze, lemon with ice, water, and sugar. Maybe that's what some of you, maybe that's how some of you had described it. Don't describe it as that. You're describing the features. What's in it for me, the prospect? What's in it for me if I buy the lemonade that you're selling? What is lemonade? Describe it in terms the networking prospect wants to hear. What's in it for me? Well, what's in it for me? It quenches my thirst. That's why I want to buy lemonade. It's a hot summer day in New York City. I'm out on a sailboat. I'm on the golf course. I'm walking down the streets of New York City. It's a hot summer day. And there's a lemonade stand. Why do I want to buy it? Because lemonade is cold. It's going to quench my thirst. It's the benefit of the lemonade statement. So the lemonade statement, describe yourself in simple terms like lemonade. How can you describe yourself in your business in simple terms like lemonade? And do it in 10 words or less. 10 words or less. You think that's an easy challenge? You know, I think it was, well, it was a famous author. Can't remember the name of the author exactly right now. Some of you might know and can remind me, who said that the toughest thing to do is to write a short essay, not a long essay. It's easy to write a long essay. Toughest thing to do is write a short statement. And it took me about an hour and a half to create the lemonade statement that I have for myself when I first went to a networking group and I realized what I had to do. It's not easy. It's a challenge to describe what you do and how you can help people in 10 words or less. We'll go through this. Okay, here we go. And that lemonade statement is a USP, unique selling proposition. So you have to make your unique selling proposition stand out and prepare you for the next steps. What are the next steps? So here we go. When I go to a networking group, and you go to these networking groups on a weekly basis. Every week you meet. So I figured if we're meeting every group, I can be a little bit cutesy since I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. So I would say Harvey Markovitz. That's the first thing you have to say. What's your name? You stand up at this table, Harvey Markovitz. And then I say Markovitz is the name. Marketing is the game, helping companies improve profitability one day at a time. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. Describes my unique selling proposition as a marketing management consultant, helping companies improve profitability one day at a time. Now just think about it. If you are a business owner and you're sitting around this table, our networking table, and you've got a profitability problem, you don't have enough of a cash flow, you're quite concerned as to whether or not you can maximize opportunities that are given to you to make as much money as you possibly can, you want to meet with me to see what I can do to help you, right? So I get up there and I say, Harvey Markovitz, Markovitz is the name, marketing is the game, helping companies improve profitability one day at a time. Now you know who I am and what I do, okay? Create a 20-second infomercial using your USP to use at networking events or on the elevator. The same unique selling proposition will be used. Does the opener have the other person say, tell me more about what you can do or how you can do that? Does this statement tell you, beg the question, tell me more about what you can do, how you can help me? That's what you want to get. Am I specific enough about my uniqueness? Well, hey, improve profitability. I think that's pretty specific, right? Does it show that I enjoy what I'm doing? Well, my voice and my attitude, my kidding around by saying Markovitz is the name, marketing is a game, is going to show that I enjoy what I'm doing. And it also indicates that I'm a marketing professional. Marketing is the game, right? What benefits do I offer? I don't know what benefits you offer, Markovitz. Let's sit down and talk about this. That becomes the issue. What makes me unique? The fact that I can offer and improve profitability one day at a time. And one day at a time is important because many of you, if you've been faced with consultants will come in and say, hey, here's this project. We looked at your business. It's going to cost 10 grand. We want 5 grand up front and the balance upon completion or in payments. Well, if you go to the right consultant and if it says here, improve profitability one day at a time, that means you're in control. You don't have to pay 10 grand. You might spend with me 20 grand or 50 grand, so long as I'm helping you improve profitability and you're seeing value in it. So that's what makes me unique. And transcribe your limited statement to fit on your business card. Don't just say, my name is Harry Smith and I'm president of XYZ company, manufacturing company, and you have a logo of the product that you're making. That's not it. Put it on your card. What do you do? Put your unique selling proposition on your business card. I've got a PACE business card right now that describes what my positions are at PACE University, but on that business card, there is a unique selling proposition that says, helping companies improve profitability one day. Okay. We help companies solve international shipping challenges. Who would that belong to? Who would that belong to? Think about it. UPS comes to mind. FedEx comes to mind. We train salespeople and students to be more effective in converting LinkedIn and telemarketing leads to customers. That's a good sales trainer will do that. We train salespeople and students to be more effective in converting LinkedIn and telemarketing leads to customers. Okay, that's a good one. Markovitz is the name, marketing is the game, helping companies improve profitability one day at a time. That's mine. Okay, so a statement of your or your company's USP, unique selling proposition, our lemonade statement, we sell lemonade to quench thirst. Whoa. They're going after Frank James. That's what that was. Sorry about that. Our lemonade statement, we sell lemonade to quench thirst. That's what our lemonade statement is. Okay, so you're positioning yourself and creating your brand is what you're beginning to do. Your brand is who you are and what people, prospects think about when they hear your name. That's your brand. It's not how you look at yourself, it's how others do. It's painting a picture of who you are. You're developing a positioning statement that expresses how you would like to be perceived by your customers and by your prospects? Does your appearance communicate the message that you want to convey? That becomes critical. Now, you want to get on a first name basis. It's critical to get on a first name basis. Okay, well, how do you do that? And how do you do that politely? You know, you walk into a networking group and you'll see name tags on people. And the name tags on people will say first name and last name. They'll give first name and last name. So our tendency is to call somebody by the first name. Well, let's do it the right way. That's not the right way. The right way is to show respect. How do you show respect? Well, here's how we do it. You make your lemonade statement, then you get on a first name basis. So you say Markovitz is the name, marketing is the game, helping companies improve profitability one day at a time. Mr. Smith, I see your name tag is Mr. It says William Smith. Mr. Smith, call me Harvey. May I call you William? Now, what does that do for you? Well, first of all, it breaks down some resistance. Now you're on a first name basis. You've acted very politely by asking permission and by giving Mr. Smith permission to call you by your first name. So you want to have permission to call him by his first name. Now, Mr. Smith will ask you the question, how can you help me? Or let me see what you can do for me. Now, you're at a networking group. Now, at this networking group, like we have today, there's 16 people or 17 people. At a networking group, you want to meet all 16 people. You want to meet everybody there because you don't know who's going to be your best opportunity. You don't want to take the time during the networking group to sell, to pitch, to present your story as to what your company does in total. You don't want to do that. Well, then what do you want to do? When you're asked the question, how can you help me or let me see what you can do for me? Here's what you do. Don't present now. You want to set a meeting when you'll have Mr. Smith's attention, because remember, Mr. Smith is at that meeting for the same purpose. He wants to meet other people too. So you don't want to present now. You're not going to have Smith's full attention. You want to do when you have his full attention. How do you do that? You answer, would you like to see how I can help you? How is your office Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4? You immediately go for a meeting. You close for a meeting. This is called a trial close. Would you like to see how I can help you? Let's meet in your office Tuesday at 3 or is Wednesday at 4 better? Give them an alternative choice, Tuesday or Wednesday, not just one time. And don't say, Joe, you're looking at the calendar, what's good for you? You direct the opportunity. Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. Take your time now. Prepare your own USP and lemonade statement. Follow the above rules. Look at your experience and training. Tell us what you are trained to do and how you will do it. Make it so it's a WIIFM statement to the other person to know who you are. Take 10 minutes now to do this. We'll go around the room and introduce ourselves, get on a first name basis, and set up a follow-up meeting.
We do have one in for Sally. I do personal coaching. Sally is my name. Discover your full potential, helping people communicate successfully in their unique power.
Say it again.
I do personal coaching. Sally is my name. Discover your full potential, helping people communicate successfully in their unique power.
Okay, so let's focus on that as an example, Sally. Okay, how can you break that down into 10 words?
It's very difficult. How can I make it in a 10 words?
Sure is.
Okay.
Experienced in helping immigrant women professionally grow and achieve objectives. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go.
Okay, let me try. Experience in helping immigrant women professionally grow and achieve.
Achieve their objectives.
Achieve their objectives.
Right. So that means you help them build their objectives. That's number 1. okay?
Mhm.
Then you find what they're all about, and then you help them get there. You help them create goals, right?
Yes.
There you go. See, I know what you do now. So you come to a networking group and you say, hey, you stand up there and you say, Sally, what is your last name?
Sally Lichang.
Okay, Sally Luchow, experienced in helping immigrant women professionally grow and achieve their objectives, right?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yes, that's me.
That's your lemonade statement. Anybody else?
We do have a few other ones. We have Rajesh.
Good morning,
Welcome.
Professor Markovitz.
Good morning.
I'm a graduate gemologist willing to help luxury brands increase their sales by different marketing strategies and analytics.
Wait a minute. So you help luxury brands. What do you do?
So I have a degree in it, like called graduate gemologist. It's a diamonds and gemologist degree.
Right.
So I help luxury brands increase their sales by different marketing strategies and analytics.
Okay. So number one, you are a graduate gemologist.
Yes.
Now, why is it important to say graduate? Does that determine who you are different from any other gemologist?
Yeah, it's the degree, like name of the degree.
Is it a license or just a graduate?
No, just a graduate.
Okay, so you're a graduate gemologist. That's the first two words. You're a graduate gemologist. Okay.
Mhm.
Experienced in. How many years experience do you have?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. Experienced in. How many brands have you worked?
2.
2 brands. Okay.
Yeah.
Over the 4 years. All right. And you think you can do this for any other company, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So you can help. I sell Lexus automobiles. You can help me sell a Lexus automobile, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So you're a graduate gemologist,
Mm-hmm.
experienced in positioning luxury brands and growing their markets.
Yeah, so like I was working for jewelry and diamonds firms earlier, so I don't want to limit it to jewelry and diamonds, so I put in as luxury brands. They come under luxury brands, right?
Okay, except if you say graduate gemologist, aren't you limiting yourself to jewelry?
Right. Yes, I am.
So why would you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just say helping luxury brands position themselves and grow their markets?
Yes, that would be better, I guess. Okay.
All right? And
Yes, yes.
that can fit on your business card.
Perfect. Okay.
Hey, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, this license is what I'm looking for. And I want to know how to make my lemon statement to be less than 10 words. See, that's my basic statement here. I am an experienced Mandarin English interpreter and tutor.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. So it's Mandarin,
English interpreter and tutor.
English interpreter, and what tutor?
And the tutor. Yeah, tutor people to learn Mandarin and English.
Okay.
My unique methodology is guiding my students to Mandarin with fun and interest. I have been doing this for over 15 years.
So you're experienced
Yes.
in training English to Mandarin.
Yeah. Both, two sides, English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English.
Okay, but you're experienced in training English to Mandarin and having fun and making it fun. Is that it?
Yes.
Boy, I can use your service.
Thank you.
Experienced in training English to Mandarin and making it fun. Shay Shay, right?
Yes. 谢谢. Very good.
Experienced in training English to Mandarin and making it fun. So you are, that's it. Experience in training English to Mandarin and making it fun.
So I do not need to introduce my academic background.
Well, you don't do it on your when you're at your first introduction. You want to say what you do. So if you go to a networking group and you have people around there that are trying to do business with China,
Yeah.
and they recognize that they have to be able to speak the language or at least know part of the language.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're the first person. You go to a networking group at BNI and you say experience in training English to Mandarin and making it fun. Okay.
Okay.
People who want to learn Mandarin are going to come up to you and say, how can you help me?
Excellent. Thank
So
you
that's
so
1,
much.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. Experience in
Okay.
training English to Mandarin and making it fun. All right. All
Yeah.
right. So you guys are getting the gist as to how this works, right? It's not that complicated. It just takes a lot of time. For me to come up with the statement that I came up with took me over 2 hours. Before I was going to my first networking group, I realized, or second networking group, but the first time I went there, I made a fool out of myself and I got nowhere. Second time I went, I figured out what I had to do. And the reason I start off by saying Harvey Markovitz is the name and marketing is the game is because I knew I was going to meet these folks every week. And what happened when I walked into the room the second week and I said, Markovitz is the name, the people who were there the prior week said, and marketing is the game. They finished the statement for me. And it's always fun to get that. All right. So then you know you're making connections. All right, let's move on. Okay, good exercise. So here's a challenge. Some people might be introverts. You don't know, you don't like to, you're very timid, you don't like to network. Well, how do you do that? Well, here's a little YouTube video you can watch for a couple minutes on how you network when you're an introvert.
I basically went and hid. I mean, I wasn't wrapped up in a curtain in the corner or anything, but I didn't talk to anybody and it was a total waste of time. But now that I've learned a few bits and pieces and gotten used to it, I have a much richer experience of networking and it definitely pays off. I know it's a little bit awkward, but it's absolutely worth it. You might meet someone who can help you directly, or you might meet someone who can connect you to someone in the network. So for example, I remember going to an event and meeting a podiatrist, and he was able to introduce me to the Australian editor of Harper's Bazaar. And I mean, that was so unexpected and cool. So I put together a bunch of tips of things that I've learned over the years that might help you in networking. Tip number 1, introduce yourself. I know that seems super obvious, but it is a bit of a weird social situation. So if I walk into a room and there's a group of people, what I tend to do is walk up to them and just say, hi, do you mind if I join you? And of course they will welcome you. Be friendly, don't just get straight into business, ask how their day's been. And then that next question can be, so tell me what you do. And they've introduced yourself and it's pretty easy going. On the flip side, if you're in a group of people and you see someone standing by themselves, then invite them into your group. That way you've done something really nice for them actually, because it's, they've obviously experienced a bit of awkwardness, and secondly, you've met another person. Tip number 2 is short conversations. So nobody is going to think that you're rude at all for having a short conversation. I mean, don't be abrupt, but look, you're not there to lock in and become best friends and all that sort of stuff. That might happen in the future, but definitely at this event, you're there to make lots and lots of connections. So have like short, meaningful conversations and keep going. Tip number 3, business cards. Don't forget to take your business cards with you. I've totally done this before. It's a huge pain in the butt. Also, too, anyone whose business card you get, make sure you email them within 24 hours. This is for both of you. So for you, so you remember, why you made that connection. Secondly, so you're still fresh in their mind. And thirdly, so that when you do inevitably lose their business card, you'll have their details logged somewhere. So look, I really hope that these tips have helped you, and I would love to hear your tips as well. So please put them.
Okay. So that's networking for introverts. Okay. It's very easy once you get into the role. Okay. So now we've introduced ourselves. What's next? Let's network. Okay. Andrew Nierenberg is a pro in networking. And part of the challenge that we've all had during the past couple of years is called COVID. How do we introduce ourselves? How do we get into networking during the COVID period? And it's still amongst us. How do we process this? And here's a picture of Andrea. Andrea is a friend and she's been around for a long time. And she's a pro and she's written many books on networking. and she can help you network as well. Here's a brief cut as to what Andrea has to say about networking, particularly in the COVID period. Watch.
Networking, very much like washing our hands during the COVID, is something we need to be doing all the time, not just when we're in a pandemic. It's about building relationships, and every single one of you that's listening to this knows that it's continual building, developing, creating, and connecting. Now more than ever, we need to connect with people. We have different varieties and vehicles to do so. We have all the online tools at our fingertips, which makes it wonderful. The events that we used to go to and that we'll someday go back to, they're just the sliver, the beginning, the real process of networking. And I always say the opposite of networking is not working. Every time you meet someone, you can learn from them, be a resource, and give. The last words, give. That's key. It's about that maintaining and reaching out. So today we're on Zoom meetings, we're on all kinds of programs with WhatsApp and Facebook, you name it, we have them all. So I adhere to a very simple process. I do 5 things every single day. I did this in-person networking, and I do it online networking in the new world. Connect with people, all different ways. Meet people, connect with people, and do your homework and research. And in that course of meeting and connecting, nurture those relationships. Every single day, I do 3 things. I email 3 people, I text 3 people, I write 3 handwritten personal notes, something that will all start, and I add on to that. So when I say I do 3 things, I really do more. And I make 3 phone calls. Remember the old phone that we use? Absolutely. And I link in with people with a note to personalize it, and I might reach out to someone on FaceTime and Facebook. So there you have that. Listen and learn every day. The more we listen, the more we learn. Given 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. Do it. 3, create connectivity. Make connections for other people. That's the goal. 1 + 1 = 3. I do this every single week. 4, follow up with people. After all is said and done, much more said than done. So follow up. It's easy to follow up. Get back to people. Keep them in the loop. You'll be remembered. And what gets remembered gets rewarded. Last but not least, stay on people's radar screens. Do it in a variety of ways. Go back to the things we talked about in part 1 about nurturing the relationships. And if you haven't signed up for Google Alerts, do so. Google will prompt you on how to set it up. It keeps you on the radar. So an opportunity to reach out. So there you have it. Short, sweet, to the point, continual success.
Okay, that's Andrea. So what she's effectively saying is this: be a resource to others. Give something to them. Learn from them. Think about the following. Who can you send a note or an article to? Who can you just say hello to? What did you learn from someone today? Who can you refer today? Give to others with a sheer passion of simply helping. It doesn't take much to have a mindset. It's amazing how many opportunities will come back to you when you do that. Okay. So now let's look at reality. Let's say you make all your networking connections. That's one way of getting new business, by going to a networking group. Then you have another way. The other way is something that we use quite often. It's called this little computer that I'm holding in my hand is also ready for this. It's a telephone. Okay, a telephone. Okay, cold calling is still a way that companies, larger companies and you possibly, go out and get business. So if you know your targets and you know who you want to talk to, you can use cold calling to get new prospects. I teach my students how to cold call, and here's how we do it. We don't want to sell in a cold call the same way you don't want to sell when you're going to a networking group. You don't want to sell. Okay, in a cold call, we're trying to set a meeting. Does that sound familiar? Just like in a networking group, we want to set a meeting and we want to do it in less than 4 minutes. Well, when you get on the phone, you want to reach out to targets. So how do you do that? You rent a list of your targets. You can go to brokers. You can identify your targets. For example, if you're going after B&B targets, You can get a list from Dun & Bradstreet by area code, by zip code, by business classification, by job title, or you can go to some more expensive programs like Seamless and find leads of people that you want to call. Here's a classical listing of leads, simple leads. I had a client who was a pet food manufacturer, pet treat manufacturer, and they were selling to pet stores. So we pulled a list. Here's a list of all the pet stores in the United States. This happens to be a listing of those pet stores in the state of Pennsylvania. And you have first name on these lists, the last name, the contact. So it's John Hershey. With contact is John Hershey. The company is Hershey Pet Food. Okay, this happens to be a big company. 24 South John Street in Helmiston, Pennsylvania, zip code. And there's the phone number. You go down this list, Paws and Claws, Penn Avenue, in Galena, Pennsylvania. There's the phone number. So if I want to reach Elaine Evans, I know how to get her. This is her probably place of work. But you can rent lists from brokers. You can rent lists of targets, prospective targets. If you're targeting in the New York City marketplace, you can do that. I was going after small businesses in the New York City marketplace. I was able to get a list of small businesses in the New York marketplace. How do you do that? Well, you're a small business, you register with different people. You might register for Dun & Bradstreet to get a business rating. Therefore, Dun & Bradstreet has all this information. Do you ever wonder how telemarketers call you? This is how they call you. They find you on a list, and then they call you. Okay, so you can have access to that same list. How does a gold call work? Not a cold call, but a gold call. Let's do it the right way. So here's how it works. You got to get the attention of the prospect. You want to make the entire conversation about the prospect, open-ended questions. You're not selling on the phone when you're making a cold call or you're making a gold call. No elevator pitch, nothing about your business. You want to get an appointment for the next meeting when you have more attention. That's what you want to get, when you have more time to sell and you have the attention of the person to sell. You want to have an icebreaker to get the attention and let the prospect know your time frame for the call. What problem can you solve? Are you talking to the right person? Focus on the prospect, on the problem and your solution. Get attention of the prospect and close for the meeting and confirm with an email. Okay, that's what you want to do. And then you write a script and you follow it. You just don't do this blindly. You write a script. You have that script in front of you, so you know what it is that you have to say. Where do we start? So you've already defined the uniqueness of your business. You've already come up with a unique selling proposition for your business, for a lemonade statement. What problems will you solve and how will you solve them? What's in it for your target to listen to what you have to say? You're summarizing that all in a cold call. So in a cold call, the prospect has no idea who we are and doesn't want to talk. Why? Because they're busy. Everyone is multitasking. You're multitasking, so is your prospect. Nobody has time to talk. We don't want to sell in a cold call. Therefore, you don't want to sell anything. In a cold call, we're trying to set a meeting and gain a commitment to that meeting. And we want to do this in less than 4 minutes while you're on the phone. Okay? So you got to get the attention of the prospect. You make the entire conversation about the prospect. Okay? That's what you do. All right. So you have your lemonade statement. Describe your business in terms, 10 words or less. We already gone through that. Okay, we help companies solve international shipping challenges. So if you're UPS and you want to get new business, you call in and you introduce yourself. Hi, this is Harvey Markovitz from UPS. Introduce your company. We help companies solve international shipping challenges. That's what we do. Okay. We train salespeople and students to be more effective in converting LinkedIn and telemarketing leads to customers. Well, if you're the sales manager of a company, you might want to have your people trained. Well, this is what we do. A statement of your company's USP. If you're an insurance company, you say, we protect assets and help you recover from the unexpected. We protect your assets and help you recover from the unexpected. You didn't say you sell insurance, because if I say I'm selling insurance, that means it's a sales call. But if I go and I say it's Harvey Markovitz calling from, let's say, name a company, State Farm, I say it's Harvey Markovitz with State Farm. We protect your assets and help you recover from the unexpected. Boom. Well, you know, and I know that you sell insurance, but I didn't say I sell insurance. So you don't necessarily think it's a sales call. You don't know why I'm calling. Okay. Our lemonade statement, we sell lemonade to quench thirst. So you put in your lemonade statement. Now here's the key. People are multitasking all the time. There are so many things trying to vie for our attention and for the target's attention. Our phone call interrupts an attention cycle in an already busy day. We have to get the attention of our target. How do we do that? We have 2 to 5 seconds to make a first great impression. We don't want to overload the prospect with information. We don't want to overload the prospect with information. We don't want to give them more information than they need to have. We must be careful what we say and how we say it. No elevator pitch. I know you've been told before, come up with your elevator pitch. On a cold call, no elevator pitch. We don't want to set off any of the prospects' triggers that are asking for too much information for them to hang up the phone on us. So we must be strategic, and we must place our calls, and we must plan it. Someone with a perceived problem. Who are we calling? Who are we calling? Why are we calling? To get an appointment. Know what we want. We want to make an appointment and have it confirmed to talk again on the phone or in person. We must know what we want the prospect to do when we call. It can't be complicated. We got to keep it simple. Just like this. It's an empty tray. Keep it simple. Compartmentalize it. But you got to make sure you're talking to the right person. What problem is there to be solved? Is the person responsible for problem to solve? That's the next one. Does the prospect have the authority to solve it? Clarify, question, qualify. Do not sell on that phone call. Control a meeting by asking questions, not by selling or complicating issues by giving facts not needed at this point in your engagement. No elevator pitch. To fashion your call like a word text message or a Twitter message. Break your call into bite-sized portions, like the serving tray I just showed you. Don't give up too much information. The unique selling proposition works, but don't try to make a value statement or an elevator pitch. Remember, you are interrupting a person who is multitasking and who is busy. This is the first meeting. You must be simple and to the point and do it quickly. Keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple. So here's our point. The gold call script is a process that helps you walk through the icebreaker, the lemonade statement, the focus question, the attention question, and the closing question. These are the issues. This is how you want to go through a cold call. You start off with an icebreaker. Then you have your lemonade statement. You have a focus question. You have an attention question, and you have a closing question. Let's see what these pieces are. Here's what they are. The icebreaker. You start off a sales call with a question. You ask for 10 seconds. Hello, Ms. Smith. This is Harvey Markovitz of the Pace University Sales Center, and I'm hoping I might have 10 seconds to explain why I'm calling. So now you know who I am. You know where I'm from. And that's my icebreaker. That's why I'm calling. I'm hoping, emphasis on hoping, I might have 10 seconds to explain why I'm calling. That's our icebreaker. Okay? You've got to connect with the prospect and do it fast. Skip the sales pitch. Get to questions about the prospect. So now we have to move through the call. First, define your USP, your lemonade statement, and how to solve anticipated problems. Introduce yourself and get on a first name basis, and then get to questions. Give the human touch. How do we do that? When you cold call, try not to sound like everyone else who cold calls. It's very simple. Try not to sound like a telemarketer. You'll have about 2 seconds to get the prospect's attention. So your opening statement must be unique and engaging. Do not sell on the phone. Your mission is to get the appointment, not make a sales call. I can't emphasize that anymore. Okay. Hi, Ms. Smith. This is Harvey Markovitz, Pace University. I'm hoping you might have 10 seconds to explain why I'm calling. Get their focus. Let them know how long the call will take. Okay. Get a smile. The 10 seconds will get a smile. Then you state your lemonade statement. Okay. Your lemonade statement is, don't describe lemonade as a drink of fresh squeezed. You already know that. What's in it for me? What is lemonade? Describe it in terms of what the prospect wants to hear. What's in it for me? So what's in it for the prospect? Here's what's in it for the prospect. We help companies solve international shipping challenges. We train salespeople and students to be more effective in converting LinkedIn and telemarketing leads to customers. So this becomes your lead in. That's what you do. Now, how are you going to relate that to the customer? Let's see. That's what you have to do next. You have to make that connection. You have to make that connection. So that's called the transition statement. So the transition statement connects the lemonade statement to a focus question. Harvey, come on, what's a focus question? A focus question is to find out whether or not the person you're talking to on the phone is even interested in what you're talking about. So let's find out. It directs the prospect's attention, disarms aggression or resistance to the call, keeps the conversation going. Before I go any further, let me ask you this, Anna. Before I go any further, let me ask you this. Or here's the reason for my call. So now you stated who you are, your name, and your company. You stated what your lemonade statement was. And now you're going to say, before I go any further, let me ask you this. And you're asking for 10 seconds of time. So if you got your 10 seconds, before I go any further, let me ask you this. Okay, what is it you want to ask? Make sure you're talking to the right person. How do you do that? How do you do that? You want to make this connection. So when it comes to training students or new SDRs, sales development reps, how much personal involvement do you have with that part of your business? Very simple question. Or when it comes to renewing your employee health insurance policy, how much personal involvement do you have in that part of your business? Now, if they say no, it ain't me, it's somebody else, you know, you're not talking to the right person. Don't waste your time. How much personal focus do you have in solving international shipping problems? So the focus question connects the prospects to the need. You state what you're doing, and you say, how much personal focus are you giving to training SDRs? Okay, so now you want to get personal. Miss Smith, call me Harv. May I call you Barbara? Get on a first name basis. Now that's the first element of resistance. If they say, no, call me Mr. Smith, you know you're in trouble. You got a lot of work to do yet. So here's another transition. If the person we're talking with is the right person, we go on to the next step. If the person is not, if we need to talk to someone else, how do we ask that question? How do we ask to be transferred? Here's how you do it. Here's that transition question. Suppose I were in a position to train your SDR, your sales development, at a much lower cost and get them up to speed. Whose attention would I need to have? If you're not the person, could you direct me to who it is? Okay, now, what does that do? Okay, what does that do? That focuses them on the need. That also says, hey, you're the secretary, I know that. You're the person who answers the telephone. You are the gate watcher. Okay, you're the gate watcher. Okay, so if you're the gate watcher, then you're going to try to block me from getting any further. So now you put them in a situation that says, suppose I were in a position to save your company money. Whose attention would I have to do it? If you're not the person, could you direct me? Now, what's the advantage? Here's a little sneaky trick. If you can do it, could you transfer me to that person? Most internal phone systems have a caller ID on it. And if it's being transferred, it's coming from the person that transferred you. And there could be a stronger likelihood that the other person on the receiving end of the phone is going to pick up the phone because I think it's the other person calling. That's one way of getting through. A little bit sneaky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's why it's a tough question. But you want to get the contact name. You want to know who that person is and how to find them. Okay, so let's go on. Let's go on. So here we go, another transition. Assume the salesperson is not transferring, we're speaking to the decision maker. Assume they're not. So let's see, now we're talking to the person we want to talk to. We want to negotiate now by asking a reasonable request. Here's our reasonable request. Close for attention with a loaded question. If I can, will you? So for example, if I can teach you how to speak Mandarin in a short period of time, will you have a meeting with me to see how? How's that? If I can show you how to speak Mandarin in a short period of time and have fun doing it, can I get a meeting with you? Okay. If I can help you sell luxury brands, your luxury brand into a new marketplace, if I can help you do that, if I got the experience to help you do that, will you give me a meeting? Can I show you? Okay, that's how you do it. That's how you get it. But you've got to be talking to the right person. Suppose I could demonstrate how we can save you money in international shipments. Could I get any of your attention? Suppose I could demonstrate how to get your SDRs to be more effective. Would I get any of your attention? That's the attention question. Suppose you have a simple way to train your students or salespeople and convert them to customers. Would I get your attention? Now we're posing the solution to a challenge that the prospect has. Make it interesting. Now the trial close is very simple. Now you've qualified the prospect. They've expressed an interest. They are vindicated. They want to go to the next stage. Well, now you want to close the sale. How do you close the sale? You ask a simple question. Are you looking at your calendar, Amy? Are you looking at your calendar, Renee? If you're looking at your calendar, focus on the calendar. So now the closing question is this: when can I have more of your attention? Are you looking at your calendar? When can we meet? What day looks good for you? When can I stop by? But give the prospect an alternative choice, Tuesday 3 or Wednesday 4. Just don't wait for them to answer it. Give them an alternative choice. Give them a choice. You direct it. You're in charge. Are you looking at your calendar? How is Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 4? Okay. Now the confirmation. May I have your email address and I'll send you a meeting invite. I won't call to confirm, but should you have a need to modify our meeting, just drop me a note. Now, why won't you call to confirm? You won't call to confirm because when you make that phone call, you might run the risk of having the meeting canceled. Show up for the meeting if it's going to be an in-person meeting. Make the phone call if it's going to be a telephone meeting. Okay, if they want to change it, they've got the contact information, they can change it. So you're selling lemonade. Let the target know it's a short call. Identify how you can help the target solve a problem. Make sure you're talking to the right person. Find out if your ESP will get the target's attention. Make sure that they'll focus and then set the meeting, confirm it. There are 10 steps to golden calling. These are the 10 steps. I actually did research on this program, on this script. And that's how you see these percentage points here, like the icebreaker. And these percentages, 52.8% of the time, people respond to the question, want to continue the conversation. Here's 77% of the time they want to continue the conversation, 62%. So I actually went out and I did research. I talked to over 100 executives posing this script, asking them the question, and I got these answers. If you're not the person, could you direct me to the person who is? 62% of the people said, sure, go ahead. 71% agreed to a trial close. So this actually works to get meetings. So here's the golden rule of business networking. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it takes time, determination, and patience to build your network and to make success out of your business. Thank you very much. I hope this has been helpful to you.